Hello and welcome, guys. In this video I'll be taking you through how to model a simple parametric design using Revit architecture, and on the screen is a photo of the plan of the illustrative building I'll be using in this particular tutorial, and I'll be taking you through how I modeled it. It's a simple parametric design, kind of a unique home, and I'll be walking you through from the start to the end on how I design it. So just like I said, this is the plan. It's a very simple home plan. It just has the basic features: the bedroom, the living, and the dining, and the convenience, and some other thing. So this is the south side elevation of the building. It's not a little rather well, just eccentric, a little odd, but it has just simple kind of parameters. So that was the little see-through, and I'm going to be showing you how I created this building shortly. So let's begin. Now the first thing I did was to create some profile to guide my building form. I used the modeling lines drawn on reference planes. I created some reference planes and I placed these modeling lines on them. If I go to the south side, you see the reference planes. There's a slanted one there, and there's one here, and there's one here. I created this in order to guide my modeling lines. So there are some slanted planes which I created at an angle, representing some of the features in my particular building. So what I did was to use these modeling lines to guide my model, especially the massing, because I use the massing to create my building, and then afterward assign a thickness to them. So I'm going to be picking these profile lines. I'm going to be identifying the planes and then picking them and modeling. So that is a plane that is on L1. So I picked it using the pick line tool, and the reference plane 1 is the next to it. So I'm going to pick it and also go to the other one and pick it too. And now one thing I'm going to do here is to try to create this model in bits, not just creating it in a full form, because most of the time when you use the data approach, you may have difficulty editing or even have error at the end of the day. So creating a solid form after selecting those lines that I created, this is what came up. This is a segment of this particular parametric model, and I'm going to finish it and then try to create another segment of this particular building. So I'm going to use the same approach, try to pick lines. Since I've already created the profile, so I'm going to identify the plane 2, reference plane 2, and then I'm going to select that on the edge of the first segment that I created earlier, and I'm going to select the other lines on the other plane just like that. And then once I'm done, I'll exit, and then I'll try to create that segment using solid form. Okay, so that looks good. and it's coming out nicely. So I'm going to try to repeat the same thing for the other parts, and so I can complete the outer segment of this or the outer wrap of this particular building. I'm going to select the planes, select the modeling lines on the different planes. And you can use this approach to create any kind of form you want in Revit, although it's not so flexible like other very, or other more advanced modeling software, but at least it gives you something a little interesting at the end of the day. It may not be so malleable, but it will give you at least something sensible. And I'm going to create the last part, the penultimate part of this building. I'm going to split this into two due to the nature of the modeling lines. So I'm going to create this escape instead of picking the last one, because if I pick it, I may get an error due to the difference in the huge difference in the reference plane in the direction in which they are going to. So I'm going to select this and create that form, and then I'll now create the last form, but I'm going to finish this mask here before I do that. And now when you do your masking like this, it makes it easier for you to edit later on, or even delete a part, and it will not affect your other areas. So this is I will advise you, if you are going to create any parametric design, you should try to break it into a fragment, into segment in Revit. If not, you may have the issue later on. Creating a very large monolithic parametric or curvilinear form can be very, very tedious, especially if you want to edit later on. So that is why I'm trying to do this in bit by bit. So I've actually created the outer wrap of this particular building, and what I'm going to try to do now is to create the boundary wall on the different on the edge, the left edge and the right edge. A boundary wall created at reference plane 1 and reference plane 11. So this is what I mean. I'm going to pick reference plane 1. Okay, I will just create this upper part. I'm not done yet with this upper part, so I'll create the upper part here first before creating those boundary walls. It seems like I've picked a wrong plane here, so I'm going to delete this. I'm not going to be creating anything here, so I'm going to be removing this. I'm going to go to pick lines. R1 reference plane R2 is the next, and the reference plane R3 is the upper part. And then I'm going to try to create this solid form. This part represents that part you saw on the building earlier, where I was showing you the elevation and the walkthrough. So there's an issue there. Revit is telling me that some parts are intersecting, and I'm going to try to work on it bit by bit in order to check which part is really having that issue. So I'm going to do this and this, and try to create a solid form. I'm still having issue. Select this and then create a solid form. Okay, so there's no issue at this part, which means it's the upper part that is having an issue. I mean, if I select this and that, solid form, okay, it created, but it's a very deformed element, and this is not what I want. I want the 3 lines to create the form so that the curve will be very, very smooth. Here there are too many sharp edges, so I'm going to delete the conceptual form that I just created and then try to redo it again. So this is a way to try to do your form. If you're having errors, you can just try it, bit by bit. So I'm going to push the line in so that the curve will be better off, and it will not give me those error messages. So I'll shift it almost at the center, and then I'm going to try to create it again. So I'll select them, create solid form. So you can see the curve is very, very smooth and very, very okay. So it's better now. So I'm going to try to move on. So that is that part created, and I'm going to try to create those okay, this is a perspective that I've already created on this project, and the building is coming up nicely. So using this approach, you can create, just like I said, you can create any shape you want on Revit. It's not impossible. What you just have to do is to know what you want to do. The frame, create the frame, and then just walk around that. So I'm going to create another mask to seal my building. So I'm going to be creating a mask at reference plane 1 here. I was supposed to close that sketch, but I didn't. But there's no issue here. I can edit that later on, just to make it look like a wall. And then I'm going to create a similar plane, a similar mask on the reference plane 7. So I'm going to pick that modeling line on that reference plane, and then create a solid form. I'm going to move that outer profile inward like that. I will move it beyond the other profile because I don't want it to come up. I want it to be on the interior. Okay, I think that is it. So my building somehow is enclosed as it is, and what I'm going to be trying to do now is to add some fenestration, some openings, and I'm going to be using the edit mask as you will see it very shortly. So finish this mask first before you try to edit. Because these are not the masks that I will be trying to edit. So the fenestration in this area at the entrance point. there to there, and just like I said, the entrance at the a little push to the right from the middle. And that is the entrance point. So I'll be cutting the outer envelope of this building in order to make room for those opponents. So okay, I have not finished this mask yet, and what I want to cut through is not this particular massing. So I'm going to leave this this area by finishing, and then try to edit the mask. Okay, here I have an opening there, so I'm going to edit the mask. Once you are not on the mask mode of that particular object you want to cut through, you will not be able to achieve that result at the end of the day. So you have to keep that in mind. And when you are creating a reference plane to start your cut through model, your cut through mask, you have to ensure it's close to the point where you want to cut through, so that Revit can easily associate your void form, because you'll be using the void form to do a cut through. You use the void form so that Revit can associate it with your solid form. If the reference plane is too far, you may have issues cutting through, even when you are still in the mode of that particular solid mask. So this is the mask that I want to cut through, and this is the part that I want to cut. So I'm going to sketch a shape. I'm going to ask me to identify the reference plane, so I'm going to identify it. C1, cut 1. I'm going to start with a rectangle, and I'm going to offset. And I'm going to modify what I've just created by adding and join. To delete that, it's not part of what I want to create, and then I'm going to add a line here to the edge, and I'm going to remove the interior lines. If you are in this mode, in order to select a single line, you have to use the tab to select between two or the whole sketch. And keep on pressing your tab and it will keep selecting, giving you the select option. So I'm going to modify further. like this using the fillet and the fillet arc. So I think that is okay, and it's what I want. So I'm going to create the void form. Create void form. Once you've done that, you have to go to your 3D view in order to see clearly what you've done. And in order to make sure your void form is cutting the solid form, you see a line, the cut through shape. In order to do that, you have to increase the size, especially if the size is not large enough. Can see what I was talking about. The cut through the void form is not cutting through my solid form, so it means there's a problem somewhere, and I'll have to return back to the sketch, staying in this orthographic mode, and I'm going to just move it so that somehow my sketch will cut through my solid form. So once I created the select and then try to create the void form again, you can see now there's a cut. You can see there's a cut, and it's well, okay, you can see there's a cut here, but it's not so good. So I'm going to select the other edge of this void form, and I'm going to shift it so that the cut will be total. So you can see, so once your void form is not cutting your solid form, all you just have to do is to move the plane to touch the solid form, so that Revit can easily just identify it with that solid form at the end of the day. So if you don't do that, you may have issue cutting through your your mask. So I'm going to, now that is the only cut I need there, so I'll finish it and then try to edit the other part where I have another fenestration, another cut. That is the entrance point to this particular building. So I've not created a reference plane for that, so I'm going to try to do similar thing that I did earlier on. Reference plane, RP, enter, and I'm going to just create it here. Yeah, somewhere here should do very nicely. I'm going to label it cut 2. And I'm going to go to the south side elevation, and I'm going to pick a plane, cut 2, okay, and then I'm just going to cut where I want. Here is how I want it, so cut, and then I'm going to go to a 3D view and then create it. You can see it's touching the solid mask, so it will be, the void form will be cut nicely. So I grab the control you can see my mask is cut. I'll still grab the outer the inner edge and then drag it just to ensure that it's really cutting totally. So you can see that mask has been cut. So I'm going to continue to do similar things like this. And there's another void at the top where this particular dome-like distorted dome is. There's a cord because this dome is to bring light into the interior of the living room. We're in a rather skewed fashion. So I'm going to finish. Okay, I still need to cut this mask further. Is this particular mask that has that top void. I need to cut a part at the middle of this form. So I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to use the reference plane R1 to create that void form. So I'll go to my site and then try to create using the ellipse reference plane R1 like this, and I'm going to try to make sure it's just within this particular mass. Okay, I think this is okay, 1/8 should be okay. And then I'm going to go to 3D and then select it and create a void form. Okay, and I'm going to shift it either way to shift it to the top to make sure that absolutely it's cutting. So it's cut, but I'm going to select the bottom of the form and drag it down just to make sure it's beyond the form. So you can see there's an opening there to give light. The lighting source is at a slanted angle on the dome, distorted dome. So I think this should be just about it as per the cut. The other opening will be creating along further in this tutorial will be done with the normal windows and the normal doors. So I'm going to try to edit this now to make it a face instead of just this arch-like element. So I'm going to select profile and then edit the profile, and I'm going to just add the bottom line just to close the sketch. Okay, so this is what I mean. So it's not fully closed. I'm going to do the same thing over here, and I'm going to select the profile and then edit it and then close it. Okay, finish it. So with that done, I'm going to try to move forward in the project and create more features for this particular building. But the first thing I'm going to be doing is to assign walls. Now the outer skin wrap of this building, I'm going to try to make it a wall, created using the wall by face, just to assign thickness to it, because it's a monolithic object. You can see there's an error here. The reason why there's an error is because it's not a solid mass totally, because the interior profile is not closed. You can see the interior profile is open, and so Revit is finding it difficult to create. So I'm going to edit that profile and close it. This, and I'm going to close it here. So then I'm going to do the same thing here, because I think I have the same problem there. Select the profile, edit it, select the inner profile, then close it. Finish mask, and then continue to assign my wall to faces. I'll go to massing, wall face, then I'll pick the outer face of this particular mass, and then assign that wall to it. The wall is 150 millimeter thick, by the way. You can decide to decrease it by just editing the wall thickness, so it's very easy. So even though you have a very distorted form, you can assign thickness using wall, or sometimes using roof or even floors, but somehow using the walls is much more flexible, so that's why I use it. So I'm going to close it here. Okay. You can see this is the perspective, and with the wall assigned, you can see the building has become much more impressive. I'm going to save, just that I don't lose my progress in case of any eventuality, and then afterward I'm going to try to continue with my model. So I'm going to be creating a base for this building, and this line is a guide. That line was made with an ellipse, so I will have to do it step by step to create the walls. You see, ellipse and arc. The arc is more flexible. The ellipse, you cannot really pick it when you want to create walls along it. It's not looking good, so I'm going to do it from one grid to another grid. I think that will bring out a better following. It doesn't have to be so accurate, but at least should be close. So I cannot select everything and then mirror it. And then try to mirror it the other way too. And also repeat it. Like that. I'm going to delete this part for now, because that's where the entrance to my building is. So this is it. I'm going to be creating more walls directly below the outer skin wrap at an offset of 1-2 from the outer wall. That should give me that, like that. Like that. And I'm going to do it all around. I'm going to try to select all and then assign parameters. This one will be going to level 0 because that is where the outer skin wrap ended, and I'm going to be offsetting it. Okay, now offset is okay. I'm going to try to mirror it. To go to 3D view so you can see this is how it looks like. And this wall here, we have to start from the floor level. So I put it at the ground floor level instead of level 0. And there are some parts that are still open, so I'm going to close them later on. This area. is underneath this wall, so I'll be creating a wall underneath that wall. I'm going to go to level 0 like this, and the same happens here. So there still is a gap here, and I'm going to try to close that. Closing it. And do similar thing here. I think here is okay, but I'm going to be deleting some part, because here there will be an outdoor terrace, more like an outdoor living area with a floor. So this is how it's looking. So I'm going to try to continue the modeling by adding some features. I'm going to add the wall sweep at this point where the parametric outer wrap meets this particular wall here. Can see there's a kind of some opening in some places, so this sweep will cover those areas and also add some aesthetics to my building at the end of the day. So the profile is just going to be a very simple sweep profile, 300, and then take it up 50, and then bring it back. I'm going to make this 500. That's 200 millimeter pushed away from where I started, and then this should be not more than 150. And I'm going to bring it down instead of up. I think that should be better off. And I'm going to close my profile shape, and then OK, and then sweep. So this is it. I'm going to do the same thing to the other edge of the building. Create sweep, still using the pick part, and I'm going to pick this part here, here, this, and then I'm going to trim it. Okay, and that is all, and then I'm going to OK, and then I'm going to create the profile now. Just the same profile as what we did, what I did earlier. 300, and then 50, then 500, and then 150 down, and then close. Finish. So that is it. So that is a sweep, and just to create some kind of connection between the down area and the upper part of the building. So I'm going to be adding some walls just to close all the exterior walls. And to make the walls to go up to level 1, and then I'm going to add in them here because these walls are visible on the exterior. For now is the exterior visualization I'm mainly concerned about. And then I'm going to be adding this wall, is where my entrance will be. be able to edit these walls later on. So this is it. You see some of the walls are pushed out of the boundary, so I'm going to edit them shortly. I do not want those walls to extend out. I want them to be, bound by the this I can easily edit by just taking it back and trimming it with one of those exterior like that, so it will easily just take care of that. However, this I will have to use the edit profile option, because when I trim it there is a gap. There's a gap somewhere, especially on the one on my left. I'm going to do something about this later on, so it's a little bit ragged, but I'll be correcting that shortly. Same as this. I'll just leave this for now. Just use the align tool to correct it. And to align it to that. You can see it has smoothed now. The same I'm going to do here. Okay, that's smoothing now too. So you can see this is the elevation, the south side elevation for now. When I align the element, especially those walls, they kind of make the whole thing tilt. So I'm going to try to correct that. This is not how my walls are. So I'm going to align them to yeah. Okay, that may be a little difficult, so I'm just going to use the align tool. AL, enter, and then you can align. Perfect. So that is how I want them to be. I'm going to be adding floors. especially to the exterior, because the floor here is a very pronounced element around this building. The terrace or the walk area. Okay. I want to exclude the interior, that is why I'm doing this. I don't want the floor to cover my interior area. To modify. And trim those. So I'm just going to connect them using the arc line. There's an arrow. Seems like some lines are intersecting. Still an error. There's a gap. I'm going to try to connect this. And then try to finish again. So everything is okay. So I'm going to attach those walls to the bottom of the floor. Delete this element. You can see the floor that we just created. And there will be a staircase here to lead you into the entrance terrace. before you enter the building. So I'm going to go to where my floor level will be at. I mean the topo surface level. And then try to create that stair. I'm going to use the riser and sketch my stair. Once I'm done, I'm going to use the boundary to close them. Okay, and now my staircase is done, so I can OK it and then finish my sketch. Once I'm certain I have all that I want there. But now OK, and there's an issue here. Okay, I'm going to make it run from the site level to the floor level, the ground floor level. So the top level should not be at 0 but at that ground floor level. Great. So I only need 2 staircase, 2 riser I mean. And here I have 3, so I'm going to remove 1, but first I'll have to turn it and then edit. I just have to remove sorry, that is not it. Select and edit sketch, remove one of the riser. It's an error. Okay, the part is beyond the last riser, so I'm going to trim it. Okay, so I have my staircase. I'm going to edit some part here. I'm going to add a nosing profile. Apply nosing profile, front, left and right. The thickness should be 50. Nosing length should be 50. That should be okay. I'm not going to slant my staircase, so I want to check it and then finish it. So you can see this is my single stair leading to the ground floor level. I'm going to edit the railing. I'm just going to delete some of the rail. I don't need as many as this. I just need like 3 railings, and I will edit this to take it up to 800 and apply OK. Apply OK. So you can see I have 2 at the top and just 1 at the bottom part. So I'm going to try to continue to add the element to my buildings, and then try to finish it. I'm going to add more components, add a sweep around my opening. Seems like I cannot do that, but we'll see. I'm going to delete this so that I can have a valid sketch. And we'll have to do that bit by bit. Okay, let's see if they are actually on the same plane. They are not on the same plane, so that is going to give me an error sketch. If they were on the same plane, I will be able to trim them, but they are not. So I'm going to delete it and try to create my sweep bit by bit. It seems like the profile is too big, so I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to reduce the profile by half. Instead of 100 by 100, it should be 50 by 50. So let's see. Perfect. This is much more better. And then I'm going to try to create another sweep. Is the problem with the spline line. It's very difficult to edit. You cannot split or trim it because it's a spline. So I'm going to look for another line here, a shorter line that is selected earlier. It seems like I won't be able to do that until I change to wireframe. Okay, this should be it. Change back to hidden line, and then 50 by 50. Okay, I think I'm going to try to edit that. It should have come down. That sweep should have come down. Edit sweep, pick part, the down part, pick edge, yeah, so okay, and then okay. I'm going to add something similar to this edge. Create a separate sweep, pick part, pick a 3D edge, and then move the edge here. Okay, finish it, and then create that same profile. $50 by $50. I'm going to move it to the zero the zero coordinates. Okay, I'm now going to add a similar sweep around the window to my master bedroom. Still use the same approach. Having an issue here. I'm going to cancel and try to rectify it. I think the problem should be either with the profile or the part. And then the profile is too big, so let's try a smaller profile. We are still having the same problem, so I guess we are going to have to do this one bit by bit. So if you have an issue creating a sweep around an irregular line, it's best if you create it bit by bit, because reducing the profile may not work as in this case. So I'm going to edit the part. I'm going to try to remove some. You can see it's been created and there's no error. So I'm going to create the sweep along the other remaining part. So it's a little crooked, but it's still at least okay. So I'm going to save. So this is what we've done thus far, and I'm going to continue to add some details. Add a glass to the fenestration, the window at the bedroom, and then add the windows and all other necessary details. So I've added some windows, added glass to that irregular opening, and added the doors. I've also added a topo surface. So now I'm going to try to add some site features like the driveway and some other elements. Now once you've created wall with face, you can always add a window. So it's just your normal way, the way you will add window to a normal wall. That is the same way you add the windows to walls created using mass, so long as you've applied your wall type. So I have made a sketch of the driveway, and I'm just going to create a sub-region. I'm going to ignore that for now. Okay, I'll go to a floor and then try to create the sub There's a small green area here. Unable to trim using those ellipse line. So it's going to be beneath. I think I can use that. Okay, so I'm almost done with the driveway and the walkway sketches, and I'm going to just try and apply material directly. I'm going to be using unassigned, and then I'll apply some maps to it. I'll select this rendering material here, and then try to apply my texture maps. Okay, I just want to make sure it's on the high quality image folder. I'm going to be going to site paving layout, and I'm going to be using this site paving surface river stone. I'm going to apply a bump. Using a similar image but darker, and I'm going to set the resolution, the size. If it's too big at the end of the day, we can always reduce it. I like to start from 3 meters by 3 meters, and then work my way down from there, or work my way up. I'll increase the bump amount a little, apply, OK, and then try to finish my sub-region. There's an error, and I'm going to try to see if I can correct that. There's still an error. Some lines are intersecting each other. Okay, I think I have one here. Yeah. So realistic shading so that we can see the driveway. You can see the stone finishing looks too large. I'm going to try to reduce the amount. I'm going to reduce it to like 1. This is offset. I do not want to increase the offset. I'm going to increase it to 1.2 by 1.2. And I'm going to increase decrease the bump map size. Apply. Okay, so perfect. This is better. So this is better. I'm going to save my project. So I've added some other features. Added some curb along the driveway, as you can see here, and then I've added something like a fence on the background of the building. So I'm going to continue to finish the building. I think what's basically next now is to add apply materials and just add some entourage to my site. So I'm going to add materials to the wall. That is the major wall that I use throughout this project. So I'm going to just add a material, and then this part where I do not want to see that material, I'm just going to paint over it. So I'm also going to use an unassigned wall, an unassigned material, and apply a map, because I want to use a brick finishing, something that can, withstand the natural weathering factors. Okay, I'm going to go up and try to look for a suitable brick finish. Okay, so these are bricks, which will be perfect. So I'm going to use this brick and use a bump map. A lighter similar image of that, and then I'm going to set the size 3 meters by 3 meters, and 3000 millimeters by 3000 millimeters, then apply. Okay, yeah, as expected, all my walls except for the curves will be changed to that finishing, so you can see. So I think this particular size of the brick is okay. It came out well, so I'm not going to try to change it. Just like I said earlier, where I will not want this brick finishing, I'm just going to paint over it. So like this outer wrap, I'm going to use a paint material. So realistic so that I can see it. I'm going to turn off mask so that it will not interrupt my building anymore. Turn on lines. I'm going to try to apply materials to the different components of my building. For the curbs, on the curb wall, I'm going to use a different material for it. And the parametric outer wall, I'm going to use another material for it too. But before I paint, I'm just going to try and set those images I'll be using. So this is how the building looks like after I use a paint to apply a different brick finishing to the upper wall, the upper envelope of the building, and the parametric upper shape. I'm just going to add some component like the car. Okay, the two cars seem to be the same. I thought it was a different one, but it's not a problem. I'm just going to leave it for now. And I'm going to try and rotate this just to align with my driveway and my parking area. Okay, so I'm going to create similar again on the driveway. here. And I'm going to rotate it too to align with the driveway. Okay. Right. So this is how the building is looking like. This is the overview from the top, the area perspective. I'm going to try to render it using the medium resolution, then I can see the finished work. It's going to take a few minutes, but it shouldn't take long. So this is a rough rendering of the building. So that is it for this particular tutorial, guys, and let me know if this video has been helpful to you. You can always like, share, and subscribe to this channel to see similar videos in the future. So thanks for watching, and bye bye.